G'day guys, this is a BMW X3 E83, I think, diesel. Before you go doing your DPFs, guys, go for the catalytic. So I've got to be very, very quick. See the hose up here that's wrapped in silver that goes to the differential pressure sensor? Disconnect it at idle. You don't need anyone to help you, right? If there's significant gas flow from the turbo, which it's right behind the turbo, coming out of that hose at idle, you don't need a scanner, right? Even though we do use it. If there's significant airflow coming out of the hose to the differential pressure sensor up the top, disconnect this flange, loosen this flange here, push this back. Bear in mind the exhaust will be holding it in place, so it'll be like that. So just slide this back, don't remove the catalytic yet. Put something in here to create a gap because it'll keep going like that. And then go up, start the car, and don't worry, it won't be noisy because the DPF is an excellent sound suppressor. Go up and feel the difference in the pressure coming out of the hose to the differential pressure sensor. If you find that the airflow is greatly reduced, take the catalytic converter out. Yes, we're at work on a Sunday morning. It's just an emergency here. Actually, we should make another video about this eye load, what happens when you get a flywheel machine too much. Anyway, so this is going on since Friday. See this gold stuff? And it's not me destroying the catalytic with the gurney, right? It's very robust in there. This sort of gold and black, this stuff, this mud type stuff coming out, it's going on since Friday. Is there a point where these are not recoverable? I'm sure there is, but for now we're trying to recover it. And the way you figure that out is if you clean it and clean it and clean it and put your upper cylinder cleaners or whatever you want through it. I'm not sure what's safe or not for them, but send it away, get it checked, get it cleaned, get a second-hand one. Whatever it is you do, once you connect it all back up, if the airflow coming out of that little hose at the top is significantly reduced to nearly nothing, you've solved the problem. And then you can go and let the car do a regen on the DPF. Of course, the DPF can be blocked, but we've just, in this video, shown you how to not pull a DPF out when there's a catalytic converter behind it for no reason. Because on this vehicle, yes, the DPF was a slight problem, but this is the main problem. Now, you have to remember, there is no soot accumulation sensor. It's a mathematical calculation. And when you reset that, for example, if you hit replace DPF when you haven't and try and do a regen, you really can damage the car because the car now is trying to recalculate the soot accumulation. In saying that, with this BMW, this E83, or is it E87? I think it's E83. With this BMW, the pressures go so high that the car will not regenerate, even if you try on rural roads and all that. So look, this video can go on for quite some time. There are two ways in to regenerate with the computer on these BMWs. One of them won't allow you to regenerate, okay? One of them will not allow you to regenerate. The other one will allow you to regenerate. Now, I tested this at length. I fixed a few other BMWs with regenerating them. So triggering a regeneration on a BMW, you can turn the regen on, disconnect the scanner and let your customer go and drive the car back and forwards wherever they want to instead of yourself. But always remember, there is no soot accumulation sensor. It is a mathematical calculation of the pressure sensor and the temperatures before and after the DPF. Over here, we will have an oxygen sensor on the DPF, a temperature sensor on the DPF, and a pressure sensor on the DPF before the DPF. And then we have a post-DPF temperature sensor. With these three sensors, not the oxygen sensor, with the pressure and the temperature sensors, the car works it out. Now, I would replace that temperature sensor and check the connector to it. The pressure sensor in the yellow box. I don't have time to bring the car up and down, but check the connector check that. Now, if you do have a scanner device, wiggle the connector around, make sure that all the connections are fine. But if you want to save yourself the drama, even if you're a high-end mechanic, just disconnect the hose off the pressure sensor, then disconnect the front of the cut and see the difference, and you will likely save yourself a lot of time, because if the DPF is a problem, then this could be a problem as well. And you can do a DPF and then the DPF will partially restrict and the car will go into a limp mode where it will not regenerate. And this is the story of why a lot of mechanics who know will just reject the DPF cleaning at 200,000, knowing there could be a bypass blow-by from the injectors and stuff like that. You know, it is a complex subject, but we're trying to make it simple here. Pull off the hose, check the pressure with your finger. If you want, get someone to accelerate in the car to 2,000 or 3,000. You'll feel a huge amount of air coming out of that little hose of hot gas from the turbo. And if you disconnect this flange here and that drops, well, the DPF's all right, isn't it? Okay, hope that helps.